welcome on back to Winds of Change, fellow Dazzlers and New Players alike. What's going on, everybody? We're also just here bringing you the next installment. Now, for those of you who came in late, last episode, a lot happened. Not a lot happened, and a lot didn't happen at the same time. We pretty much began our voyage to Alarinthia, and I'll never get tired of saying that, just Alarinthia. That sounds so cool. Hold on here for a second. So we began our trek down on over to little Alarinthia desert region to secure an alliance with either Dracyu or Vivien. In addition, while we were on the boat, we got to go through more Heart-to-Hearts and learn more about our mates that are on this journey with us. It was great. It was actually some pretty heart-rending moments, especially when we took a look at Pro and Domic's backstories. But enough about that. Let's continue. We are at the docks of Alarinthia, so once again I'm going to just be rolling this off for as long as I can, probably go for about an hour or so, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. As of this recording, more content has been dropped, so yeah, let's just get going. I want to see if I can get to that new content, but we'll see. Let's go. Okay, are we good? Yeah, here we are. We're at Alarinthia's port. So let's take care of the not Heart-to-Hearts, but let's take care of the Parallel Chronicles and the other thing, Party Banter first. Halen, Sovy, and Shane finally arrived in Balteus. Making their way to the castle, Sovy trembled with anxiety. He hadn't known how the Triumvirate would react to any of this. Halen, can I talk to you for a moment? Of course, Master. They stopped in their tracks, Shane included. He knew enough not to intrude on their secret talks. He stood to the side even though he was now one of them. Back in Museo, I was confident, but not anymore. I'm starting to worry that the Triumvirate will chastise me. What should I expect, and how should I react if they do? You act as if you haven't felt them before. Remember when I first became your apprentice? They thought you weren't teaching me good enough. You almost went insane when they gave you time off. You would too, Halen, trust me. It's boring. But that's nothing in comparison to what happened. We don't have the blade, and almost everybody escaped. They're no fault of our own, remember? I have your back in this. I won't tell them the truth. However, I need to ask for one thing in exchange. Of course. Work on your personal issues, Master. I don't care what they are, just get them sorted out. Remember, I'm likely to get as chastised just as much as you. But we'll save the bad news for last. We dealt a major blow to the rebellion, Sovy. With the loss of their leader, they'll be in disarray. If the Trumvirate doesn't like that, then that's their problem. Like you said, this isn't the last time we'll face them in battle. Whether it takes days or months to win, it shouldn't matter. After all, we'll still win. That said, are we clear? In this moment, it seemed like Halen was the one giving orders. However, Sovy had no choice but to obey. He couldn't risk getting exposed. Oh, I should probably take care of that. I'm always so excited to get this going that I forget to turn off the Steam notifications. We're clear. Let's continue walking. I'll think of what to tell them as we move along. They break their huddle and continue walking towards the HQ. Shane steps closer, striding in unison with Sovy as they do so. So, what was all that about? You said I was one of you now, right? When do you start treating me that way? Oh, sorry, force of habit. We're just talking about what we should tell our masters. We did damage to the rebellion, we failed in our objective. You mean that blade? Yes, and the Seer. Look, Sovy, you kinda saved my life. For that reason alone, you have my support. Whatever you want me to do, just let me know. Sovy smiles, having the support of his comrades. Any fears he had of being punished were quickly put to rest. Thank you, Shane. It means a lot. I can tell we're going to get along just fine. Alright. Conspiracy to hide the truth. Anyways, here we go. I need to thank you again, Pommy. Your support means a lot to me, it truly does. Some of the rebels have started to side with Howl. Pretty dumb decision, if you ask me. I know what you're thinking. That you're responsible. That's impossible. Nobody could have seen what was coming. I mean, my point exactly. I mean, like, how did Domic know that he was being fed bad visions? Yes, we were played, caught off guard. I knew it wouldn't happen again, though. Things are different. It's almost like our belief in the spirit realm was holding us back. Do you think that people will believe us, though? I mean, do you even believe the truth we've been told? I don't really have a choice, Domic. Your speech gave us proof. It's undeniable. I'd advise doing the same to every other Lestian. Even if it takes years, you can do it. I'll even help you if you need assistance. Nobody said things would be easy after the war. You're right, and thanks for that offer. I'm pretty sure I'll take you up on it, since this is a tall order, but I know that almost anything is possible if we all band together. Of course. So for now, we need to fix the discord in your ranks. I'll talk with the rebels that are siding with Hal. They need to stop. There are no sides in this. We all fight for the same cause. Good point. And if they put their differences aside, well, Dominic, we'll win this thing for sure. Alright, oh, we gotta talk to Big Man over here. Hey, what can you tell me about this bowel? Well, it's definitely not something Dracyu came up with. Rulers of Alarinthia have been doing it for ages, actually. It's supposed to make your subjects less inclined to rebel. It's not really working if Vivien exists, but at the end of the day, it's still a nice party. As much food and drink as you could ever want. Don't worry, Razzle. I won't go overboard. I do like to drink, but not while I'm on a mission of any sort. I'll be tempted, of course, though I'm sure you can keep me in line. After the feast, there's a large ball, but it all starts with a speech. Basically, Dracyu will be bragging about his powers and influence. If he shows off how strong he is, he's less inclined to be challenged. Though if there is a challenge, they hold a tournament the next day. It really happens, unless a drunken partygoer trying to play a joke. Everyone wakes up hungover and goes about some simple lives. What can I about Dracyu? Honestly, I don't know too much about him. I've been out of the loop on Alarinthian politics for a while, but he holds the throne of this nation. You need to be fierce. Oh, but to hold it. So if you think I'm strong, then you know nothing. He'll make me look like a whelp in comparison. And from what I've heard, he's pretty smart too. Most rulers, from what I've seen, simply bathe in their own riches. To hold a ball and share it with your nation, that's pretty genius. It destroys any motivation to remove him from the throne. That's why Alarinthia hasn't had a tournament in a long time. The people are either happy, or certain they'd lose in combat. I'm betting on the latter, which makes Dracyu even more intimidating. Do not underestimate him, Razzle. If the natives can't dethrone him, what chances do we stand? Vivien might dream of a changed nation, but he'll say that, just a dream. I think that's good enough for now. Let's journey. Let us quest to the deserts of Alarinthia. We take slow, heavy steps through the deserts of Alarinthia. Heat assaults us, and humidity is thick like sheets in air. Why would the desert have thick humidity? Ulrich seems unfazed, but everyone else is handling it pretty bad. I can't believe people actually live here. How much farther is it, Ulrich? This is crazy. I'd say around 6 to 8 hours. There's an oasis halfway there. You can stop. I have a feeling you've already exhausted your canteen. It was too hot to resist. So there's an oasis in a few hours. It would be a pretty good place to rest and relax. We can't waste that kind of time, Dominic. There's enough time to fill up on water, that's it. If we take too long, we'll miss both Vivien and the ball. Right, of course. Dominic pants, sweat trailing through his fur. He's not alone, though. Almost everybody acts the same. Hopefully, things would cool down once the sun started to set. We move towards Ulrich as we talk through the desert. He was our guide, so I shouldn't let him out of our sight. I can see the city in the distance, but no oasis at all. Back in the day, they used the desert as punishment. Criminals were sent out here, and they had to prove their worth. If they were strong enough to survive, they'd be taken back in. Most of the time, criminals would just succumb to the heat. They'd be unable to move and pass out. Death would come soon after. They called these people Sixers, since he usually passed out within 6 hours. I'm not sure why he's telling me this. If he wants to pet me up, he's sure fouling. They've been out here for more than 6 hours. In addition to that, their bodies lasted 6 days. Don't worry though, we'll be fine. We have water. That isn't a courtesy they wanted to give criminals. Well, at least that makes me feel better. You're probably wondering why I'm telling you this story. Don't worry, I have a reason, aside from passing time, I mean. He smiles and holds out his arm. Rotating it slightly, he shows off his tattoos. The Sixers survived to give them special markings. They were pardoned, and to be respected for the power. Bit of a secret, you know. Just keep between us, alright? Wait, so Ulrich is an Alarinthian criminal? Or at least he was, since he appears to have pardoned. I'm glad he was comfortable enough to tell me this kind of stuff. Besides, they look pretty good, don't they? You were a criminal. I thought I knew you. Urge to break Alarinthian law rising. That's funny. I could go either way, to be honest. Let's just keep it formal. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some of my own, actually. Well, they haven't used that method of punishment in a while. We may need to find a copycat artist like Solace did. If something looks cool, people always try to rip it off. Anyways, I guess that's enough story time for now. The more you know about Alarinthia, the better. That and it makes the walk go by faster. Excuse me, I have some business to take care of. We'll have plenty of time to talk later, Basil, trust me. Just write me down if you find you're needing anything. I nod before looking back at the rest of my comrades. They look so drained and fatigued. We need that out of oasis and fast.
Hey.
What's up, homeboy? I mean, I know I should probably go through all of these, but it would just take... I'm trying to kind of just get us through to the next plot point, so... You'll just have to play the game to see all the choices, or watch somebody else's YouTube video that goes through all the choices. That's cool, too. So do you think we'll be able to secure an alliance? Oh, no, I want to do... who would you side with, Vivien or Dracyu? Whoa, putting me on the spot, huh? I guess I'd probably side with Vivien. Auric hates this place, and I can see why. Politics would only make this a million times worse. So I think Alarinthia would be... better off like the mainland. It's different, yes, but in my opinion, it's the bad different. Like, Mazeo was different, but it was good. A constant battle to see who's stronger? Yikes. Sounds like it would get pretty toxic and fast. Hey, okay, there's no need to use current year language. Do you prefer Howl or Damek? That's a tough choice, but I have to say Damek. It's not fair that Howl tried to pin all this on him. Nothing happened at Rebel HQ was his fault. That doesn't mean I hate Howl. Far from it. He seems so wise and we can learn a lot from him. An entire ancient culture inside him? Just think about it. There's so much we don't know about the monarchy. He could help us fill dozens and dozens of history books. I hope he survives this. He has lots of info to pass on to us. What are these two guys up to? They've been up to something. Hey bro, can I talk to you for a second? Of course, what's up? I can't say in front of everybody else. I need to talk to you alone in secret. Oh, is it about the hat? Pro, not in front of anybody else. Follow me over here, talk quietly. Right, sorry. Oh, what's up? Well, that was, short. Let's go to the oasis. When we arrive at the oasis, everybody immediately runs towards it. Opening their canteens, they fill them up and quickly drink up. I do the same before turning to face my allies in relief. I was starting to get parched and worried about passing out. The placement of an oasis was awfully convenient. I chose not to count our blessings as I faced my friends. This is amazing! Just what I needed! If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a swim. Just give me a few minutes, alright? Fortum, no, that's disgusting. People drink that water. It's not for swimming. What? No. Fortum scoffs and crosses his arms. This is the moment I decide to tell him what Hal told me. Without the power from Solberg's idol, Valinorth would be fine. Whoa, really? That's amazing. You're certain about this? I nod. Hal was definitely a reliable source. There was now an upside to all of our shaken faith. I totally needed to hear some good news. This trek through the desert is downright awful. When we get back, let's all go back to Valinorth. Yeah, definitely. It feels so good to be back home. With your vision and that dim idol, my outlook was so grim. But now that attack won't happen and the idol doesn't matter. Long live Valinorth? Long live Valinorth. We all smile before parting ways. I look over at Auric and Pro. They're talking to each other, but quietly, almost secretive. I chose not to interrupt them and make my way over to Damek. We're just talking about our future options. I mean, would we rather side with Vivien or Dracyu? I think Vivien is a better option, but Howl disagrees. As we seem to do on many matters. We need strength to win upcoming war, Damek. Vivien cannot deliver us much strength, only hope for our nation. If hope could win wars, we wouldn't even be here. In times like these, we are glad that you are not in charge. We trust the Monarch will make the proper decision. Oh, you're, I think you're in for a shock, my friend. What do you say, Monarch? If you had to choose right now, what would you do? It's a hypothetical, of course. Nothing set in stone. You know, this is interesting, because I think people would have typecasted Damek as being corruption and Howl... No, Damek as being purity and Howl as being corruption. Meaning, remember, corruption is getting more away from how the Trumvirate want things run, purity being more in line with how things are. But you go with Damek, you get the corruption choice. You go with Howl, you get the purity choice. At least that's how I'm saying it. That's interesting. See, this game makes you think. I like that. Like, I mean, it's not like big, deep, philosophical, inkling thinking, but it's like, oh, okay, it's just curious to notice these little things. But I think Vivien might be the good idea. There you have it, Howl. We need to think about the future of this world, too. It makes sense to give Alarinthia a new form of leadership. There's nothing wrong with the way Alarinthia is run. You cannot change it simply because you do not like it. Such a move would make you no better than to triumvirate. You cannot become the enemy you seek to dethrone. Your way of thinking requires some evaluation, Damek. You may say it means to an end, but so does the triumvirate. Cool, you paint me as such a villain. A change in leadership would require the spilling of blood. Innocence would die, much like the occupation of Mazeo. Think of what you lost. Do you want to do this to others? Speaking of philosophical inklings... Promptly changing the subject, he seems to admit defeat. Well, are you all full up on water? I'll exit we're halfway there, and we're making good time. I think we'll make it to the city with plenty of time to spare, Monarch. Hal seems unamused at the sudden change in topic. His body does not work like you would expect. We don't need water, and do not risk passing out. Whenever you're ready to continue, we will do so. After saying that, we all part ways. We shouldn't stay here for too much longer. Missing that ball would damage our cause immensely.
Hey.
What's up? I think I'll ask her the same two questions. Would you rather side with Vivien or Dracyu? Vivien, hands down. I don't like the way Alarinthia is run. Valinorth on strength alone creates a toxic atmosphere. There's that 2016 language again. Anyone with a brilliant mind will be pushed aside. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, it's that I noticed people using words like toxic to describe things a lot more recently than in past years, so it's not that I don't like the use of toxic. I think there are good ways of saying something is being toxic or a relationship is toxic or whatever, but it's just like, I noticed an uptick in it, is all I'm saying. That holds back the progression of society so much. Valinorth embraced new ideas and nurtured bright minds. If anything, it might actually explain why Alarinthia is so primitive. What are your thoughts on Howl? It's so weird seeing our former elder just walking around, but I need to work on that. I need my mind to know it's not him. Celis is gone, and there's nothing we can do to change that fact. Howl is an interesting guy. He sure has a lot to say. His insight to the past of the world could fill 1,000,000 books. With all these souls, he knows almost everything there is to know. He told me society has actually regressed in Alarinthia. It used to be the monarchy. Their whole world was united. I hope we can make a world like that after this war is finally over. Well, I think that's about good. Let's keep it going. To the gates, my friends. We arrive at the gates of Alarinthia after an exhausting trek through the desert. It feels like things will change now that we're here, but they probably won't. The city won't be any more inviting. There just might be more water. A lone man stands at the gates and I recognize him. He's the man I saw watching us back at the docks. This can't be a coincidence. He must be after us. Auric notices him and starts to walk towards the gate. Let me handle this. Been here before. He probably knows who we are. Info travels fast here. Just stay calm and I'll have us in the city in no time, alright? We all know I'm leaving Auric to handle the situation. We seek passage into the city and nothing more. It's been a long trip from Azeo and we need shelter. Our business lies with the one known as Vivien and Dracyu. The man remained silent for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Oh, I know exactly who you are, Ulrich. Vivien is waiting for you in the tavern, and Dracyu, well, you'll have a ball to attend. Wait, how do you know who I am? I followed you all up until the Oasis. That's my chance to get ahead and tip off Vivien. People travel fast in this game. Besides, you stick out like a sore thumb. Nice markings, Sixer. Trust that won't be an issue? It shouldn't, but I'm surprised you found somebody to do that. Recreating the markings of the ancients is frowned upon. They earned those markings. You certainly did not. Of course. Though you do bear a striking resemblance to the Ulrich of legend. What? If anything, that'll make your relationship with Vivien more amicable. I was given his name by my parents. They aligned with his views, and so do I. That'll be all. We'd like to keep going. Of course. I wasn't standing here to stop you. I merely wish to welcome you back home. I hope you and your Monarch end up useful. He bows to Ulrich as a sign of respect. By the way, call me Dracyu. Ulrich nods before returning back to face us. Dracyu enters the city, likely returning to Vivien's side. Glad our quest in this land has finally had some direction. Well, that was easy. Because of the ball, there's almost no security. If I knew he'd be invited with Vivien... I knew he'd be involved with Vivien, I could just tell. So we'll have enough time to meet with her before the ball. That's great. I was worried we'd be on a tight schedule. You really can't rush decisions that change a nation. Yeah, it was definitely fortuitous. We better make sure it's not a trap. Well, it didn't seem disingenuous. That's the perfect way to catch us off guard. Right, so what's the next step? We head into the town square. If the tavern hasn't moved, it's connected. We'll be seeing Vivien within an hour for sure. Alright, sounds good to me. Is there more water in the city? Yeah, but don't ask for water in a tavern. It's a sign of weakness amongst Alarintians. If you drink anything while we're there, make sure it's ale. Everybody stands around, seeming to wait for my mark. There's something up with Auric, I have a strong gut feeling. His secret talks with Pro and some of the things Dracyu said. There's something not right, but now we have Homeboy. How are you handling being in Celis' body? We have no complaints. It seems to be others who have problems, especially those close to Celis like his son. But we will work on that while we travel. Perhaps your forces just need time to adjust. This must be a jarring transition, to say the least. Is Alarinthia the same as it was back then? No, completely different, more primitive. Alarinthia existed in unison with the monarchy. It was once part of a large whole. It was peaceful. Being stuck in a constant power struggle sounds awful, but still, it has given us what we need. A strong potential ally. Dracyu is the result of generations of a savage cycle of growth. Every ruler is stronger than the last. For almost an eternity, they have followed these laws. Dracyu and his army must be exceptional in their power. Alright, well, let's see what's up with, wow, party banter with the 4 characters? That's new. So what's it like, you know, being a vessel? It's not much different than when we were alive. There are simply voices in our head, lots of them. The monarchy guides our every move, it's hard to explain. They are fueled by the rage of their imprisonment. Everything inside of us tells us to fight and kill. When that time comes, we will fight for this world. These wounds in our bodies hurt us at first, but like white noise, we have phased it out. It only flares up every few minutes now. How bad is it? We feel every wound as if it was freshly inflicted. It's almost like we exist on the edge of life and death. Our body is unable to fully commit to either side of the spectrum. That's, pretty crazy. That sounds horrible. Horrible, yes, but also necessary. With our aid, the Trumvirate shall fall. Justice will finally be given to the monarchy. When we deliver that justice, the pain is worth it. When we can deliver that justice, the pain is worth it. We embrace this as a gift and honor the monarch. Without their choice, we would not be alive to fight. So it's interesting because, if you look at their portrait, it's like the same, like, stock thing, but then you get the shadows that are, hinting at what they might look like. I just wish there was a way to make the pain go away. You know, after this war, you're still going to suffer. We're not the only ones who will continue to suffer. The wounds endured during this war can be emotional. Scars will haunt... Darn it. Scars will haunt all your forces. We are not the only ones. Right. I think that's... Yep, that's it. Let's go in to the city. We go to town square. As soon as we enter the town square, Ulrich motions for us to stay close. People run amok while others peddle their wares, waving us over. It almost seems just like Museo. The products must be different. Good, the tavern's in the same place. It's just over there, so we'll make it in time. He crosses his arms and looks around the town square. Then he grabs his arm in a way that almost hides his tattoo. But it's too late. I can already see the townspeople staring. Ulrich was definitely hiding something from all of us. I'd hate to say he's losing our trust, but he's definitely suspicious. Nothing he's told me adds up with what the Alarinthias have said. Almost out of fear, it seems that the townspeople avoid us. Eye contact is as far as we go, leaving us lots of room to maneuver. I guess that helps. It's like if they all invaded our personal bubble. Let's not waste too much time out here, right? I think we're gonna have a few hours till the ball begins. I'll stay here, but feel free to look around a bit. Honestly, I expected Alarinthia to be different, but it looks like I'm staring at an alternate version of Museo. The only thing that stands out is the architecture and the heat. That heat. Didn't change one bit when we got to the city. However, the natives seem used to it, walking around with ease. Most of them aren't fully clothed, wearing a getup much like Ulrich's. I guess it's my fault for expecting something different out of this place. Before we head for the tavern, I decided to look around for a few minutes. Maybe it would be a good idea to talk to Ulrich as well, he's acting strange. But first we have 2 books to find somewhere. I looked through the market stall, there's a few books on display. Oh, there we go. There's one about Sixers, so I figure I should give it a read. That term has been thrown around recently and I want to learn more. On Sixers. Sixers, the nickname for victims of a vicious form of punishment that has since been forbidden. 6 hours is all a person can last before passing out in the harsh deserts of Alarinthia. Then 6 days later, without sustenance, they pass away. Back in ancient times, this was used as a way to punish criminals and make them prove their self-worth before returning to society. If they could survive for an entire 6 days without food and water, they'd be welcomed back into Alarinthia's arms. The survival rate, of course, was low. Many people thought it was a skewed form of punishment, clearly rigged to kill, but so long ago, they were likely right. Disposing of criminals before making them serve sentences, or to serve a more conventional means of justice was barbaric. At least, that's what the activists said. It wasn't long until their movement gained traction, and this practice was banned. Instead, they give criminals a chance to fight for their freedom in the Colosseum. Pretty sure that's not spelled right. Of Alarinthia. If they won, their sentence would be negated. This would seem more fair and less rigged against them. This form of resolving conflict and fighting for rights over the years would soon evolve into something more. Passing laws, deciding leaders, and determining fates of citizens would also go on to be placed in the hands of victors. Now the nation rests in the hand of the strong. Alright, so there's one more around here somewhere. What about here? On top of the crates rests the books about... Oh, what do you know? I'm good at this. definitely paints a grim picture of the nation. Dracyu must be very strong. In Alarinthia, a ruler is lucky if their reign lasts even a year. However, Dracyu has been in power for several decades. This is definitely unheard of. His power is immense, and any challengers to the throne are quickly defeated in the Colosseum without effort. Every year, Dracyu hosts a ball in his castle, and freely spreads his riches amongst the citizens of Alarinthia. That, coupled with his strength, keeps most of his subjects happy. Many are less inclined to insurrection, and those that attempt to dethrone him are easily defeated. He seems to have a stranglehold on the nation, but it's also one that gives the land a continued sense of peace. However, due to the way that the nation is run, it's only a matter of time until he is dethroned in the Colosseum. He will join the rest of Alarinthia's past rulers, none of which has succumbed to natural causes, only the strength of others. Well then, let's see what Ulrich is up to.
Hey.
What did he mean by Ulrich of Legend? I hate to talk about this, so I'll try making it quick. Vivien obviously isn't the first person to rebel against Alarinthia laws. The first one, at least in recruited history, was named Ulrich like me. Many people followed after his ideals, including my parents, so much so they decided to name me after him. I don't like it. That's all it is, really. My name is a silly tribute. I guess it doesn't help that I actually look like him. At least, all it's just a contextual descriptions of him. Pretty cool coincidence, but that's all it is. I knew this stuff would come up as soon as we got here. Just remember, you've known me long before this trip. Don't come to judge me by the things these people say. I don't know, my friend. How'd you actually get those tattoos? I'd rather not talk about that right now, but I have a feeling you'll find out soon enough. It's complicated, and we're really short on time. Just trust me, alright? It's nothing bad. I earned these. They weren't ripped off. Just grab a drink in a tavern and chat. What have you and Pro been talking about? That's none of your business. Just trust me. Wait, that's none of your business. Not yet. Again, just trust me, okay? Please. There's a lot going on that you don't know. That's not to say that you'll never know it. Just sit back and wait until the time is right. I promise everything will make sense soon. Okay. Well, I'm just not gonna bother with you because you're being really dodgy right now. So let's go to the tavern. We entered the tavern and make sure to stick close together. It was packed, noisy, and the patrons seemed pretty rowdy. I make sure to stick by Ulrich in case something breaks out. Just looks like I remember it. All these years and nothing changed. Guess there's no use trying to change perfection. Yes. It looks much like it did in our time as well. If memory serves, Alarinthia is home to a unique wine. Seer, if you have a drink. We would suggest Monarch, if you have a drink. We would suggest. I'm still getting used to the Monarch thing. Wow, he actually knows what he's talking about. I'm buying a few bottles to bring back to the mainland. The climate of Alarinthia affects the taste of everything. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. I won't bore you with the details, but the wine is great. Let's find Vivien and get everything started, shall we? We got out to one another and venture deeper into the tavern. It's an open place with no doors. You can see right outside of the market. It makes things noisy, almost unbearably so, but I'll have to deal with it. We approach the bar. I assume Ulrich is going to ask for Vivien. Can't even see Dracyu. I look around and notice a bunch of eyes on us. A man sneaks up from behind us, stands between me and Ulrich. He has a drink in his hand and slams it down on the table. Some of it spills on the bar. This man must be intoxicated. Hey. Would you let me buy you a drink? Something tells me you're not from around here. I know a lot about this place. You need a tour guide. Before I can answer, Ulrich gently pushes them away. Look, we don't have time for any antics. If we know where Vivien is, we could use some help. You're right about being foreigners. We've come a long way. Oh, you're looking for Vivien, hmm? Why didn't you say so? Follow me. Ulrich and I stare at each other at unease. We'd rather stay here, if you don't mind. Following strangers isn't the best idea. Alright, I'll be back. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I trust you. Have I seen you before? You look familiar. No. Now please, put an egg in your shoe and beat it. Don't bother us again unless you have Vivien. I'll ask the barkeep in the meantime. Maybe they know. Okay, and Ulrich's portrait's kind of just flashing us. I think it may have been because I was skipping so much, so it may have caused a slight glitch, so apologies for that. Friendos. The mystery man nods and walks away from us. I doubt he'd be coming back. He was probably a scammer. Is there something about us that makes us easy targets? No, I guess I'll start. Before he can continue, Dracyu sneaks up behind us. Your manners could use some work, Ulrich. I used my manners on worthwhile people. And Vivien isn't one of them? I saw you just shoved him away. Wait, that... Vivien is a man? And an honorable one at that. He deserves to be treated with respect. I don't believe you. Most people don't. His parents chose the name. If anything, it keeps the assassins looking for the wrong person. Try and tell me you weren't looking for a female when you entered. Ulrich shrugs. Dracyu had a point, though. Let's get this over with, then. We need to talk about securing an alliance. Then we'll do the same with Dracyu and take the best deal. Vivien approaches us and stands beside Dracyu. You told them? I was having fun, Dracyu. That's in short supply these days. Thanks a lot. They're on a strict schedule, Vivien. The ball opens up in a matter of hours. Remember, we still have a move to make. Right, a challenge at the ball. Move aside. I'll explain our plan to Ulrich. If he has any sense, he'll aid our cause. Dracyu nods and steps aside. Our comrades gather around, having realized what's going on. So, Vivien is a guy? I guess so. But don't say that too loud. Something tells me that's not common knowledge. Very smart. Helps you stay incognito. We were all looking for a girl, weren't we? Yeah, it's still trying to change the Ulrich, so hopefully that stops when we get out of this area, or like scene switch or something. Otherwise I might have to load or something. Like I'll figure something out anyways. Either way, I'm glad this worked out. We should probably talk terms with him. You have a nice group of comrades, Ulrich. Start by telling me about him, though. Yeah, it's still doing it. I might have to like close the game out or something. But I'm just gonna keep going with it. Vivien stares at me. That was a reasonable request. My position beside Ulrich implied we are closer than the rest. This is the Monarch, heir to the throne of Alarinthia. After we take down the Trumvirate, this is his world. Crazy claim I know, but we have proof of everything. Vivien blinks a few times, clearly confused. Let's continue on the assumption that I understand. At the end of the day, you want my army to aid you, right? Exactly. Well, this is where it gets a bit weird. I want your army just as much as you want mine. Maybe we can come to a conclusion? Go on. I'm going to Drakyu's ball to challenge him. Tomorrow, I plan on fighting for the throne. We'll do it right. One last fight in the Colosseum. I had Dracyu stay at the docks to watch the new rifles. If you found a group that looked strong enough, he'd tell me. You fit the bill. Better than anyone else, so we spied on you. You heard your group talking about a rebellion and a big army. That's when I knew I hit the jackpot. Our new target was clear. But to know you came here just for me, that's pretty flattering. If you help me take down Dracyu in the Colosseum, I'll help you. I can offer a few hundred men, and maybe more for my throne. Who knows how many people I can rally if I take over this nation. But you don't just care about power, right? You want to change this nation for the better. Yes, I plan to model ourselves like the mainland. Elections, voters, stuff like that, no more tournaments. We lost too many amazing people to barbaric, outdated laws. Vivien, I'll be honest with you here. I want to support you. But the final choice rests with the Monarch after the ball. We need to talk with Dracyu first and weigh our options. Understandable, but be warned. That's when I'm making my move. If he accepts my challenge, we'll be fighting in the morning. You better hurry. The ball's known for huge lines. Ulrich looks over at Pro and they nod to each other. Razzle, I need to tell you something. This is my homeland, and I've always wanted to change it. I had to fight alongside Vivien, even if you ally with Dracyu. And if Drakyu's terms involve destroying Vivien's insurrection, I think we'll be fighting each other in the Colosseum. Remember that these are fights to the death. I have no other choice. Fighting Ulrich? There's no way I could do that. But I will be fighting gold. I had to. I'll choose Ulrich as my champion, then. Champion? Each side gets to choose a champion to fight with them. Aside from that, they get to choose 20 to 30 fighters. Everybody that didn't make the cut for champion, as an example. This means that myself, Ulrich, and an army would fight in the Colosseum. The battle ends when either the champion or the leader has fallen. So if I challenge him at the ball, after you ask him for support, I bet he'll make you fight for it. You know, use your men instead. He's predictable, but you can use that to your advantage, Razzle. I hope it doesn't come down to fighting each other, but for the future of this nation, I will do what I must. Now let's get to that ball and see what Dracyu wants. He's probably expecting you. If Dracyu spotted you out, I'm betting Westy did too. That's Drakyu's right hand. Be careful out there. I'll be making my move right after he addresses his people. Make sure you're there. That happens in a throne room. Just don't go making the wrong choice, Razzle. Go with me. He smiles before walking away with Dracyu in tow. So he needed us just as much as we needed him. I guess in this case, that worked to our favor. I don't expect Ulrich to side with Vivien, though. I didn't expect Ulrich to side with Vivien, though. I thought he'd wait for my choice and fight alongside me. To know we could be enemies in a Colosseum, that's terrifying. But it seems like a real possibility with each passing second. It makes sense for Dracyu to use expendable foreigners as his supporting fighters. At the end of the day, it really only mattered who the leader and champion were. Vivien and Ulrich. Dracyu and who? I guess we'd find out. We stayed at a tavern for a while before leaving. However, our next destination was clear, the castle. Hopefully the line for the ball wasn't too terribly long. Wish. Party banters and HCH. Let's see what these guys are up to, though. Go away. Sovy knelt before his masters, with Halen and Shane behind him. The time had finally come to tell them what happened to Mazeo. Having hidden support, however, meant they wouldn't learn the full truth. Okay, so the switching Ulrichs went away, so this probably was the scene. The general of the rebellion has fallen. Good work, Shane. You have earned our trust. We had a feeling you would prove yourself useful. can't do 3 dudes at once, so I'm gonna do 3 dudes at different lines. But what of the Seer? We notice you don't have our blade. This displeases us. Please explain yourself, Sovy. We thought it'd be better to damage their morale. They have the blade, but they can never recover. Next time we see them, it'll be like crushing an insect. You failed your mission, Sovy. We wanted you to retrieve that blade. Now they have time to regroup and replan. The last thing we wanted to do is be stuck in a Xanatos speed chess match. Yes, they have time, but not enough. I know where they'll be going, Masters. With your permission, I'll go and end this. And what should already be over? Sovy, do you realize what you've done? There's a reason we needed that blade. But you failed to retrieve it, and let the Seer get away. Any silver lining you can come up with is simply not enough. Domic's death will only fill them with rage to use against us. Only if we give that time to fester, we can leave immediately. Please! Halen? Is Sovy speaking the truth? Do you trust his ability to carry out another mission? Right. Let's see if Halen lived up to Sovy's request. Halen steps forward, nervous. Gulping, he looks at his masters. No. What? Oh no. Sovy, you just got played. Oh. Sovy looks shocked as Halen had promised him discretion. He grits his teeth in anger, taking deep breaths, trying to stay calm. Tell us what really happened, Halen. We need to know in order to plan our next move. Of course, Masters. Sovy failed on purpose. He had the blade and the Seer's life, but took neither. I don't know why. I regret letting him run off alone. But he didn't really fail on purpose. He got hit with something that, like, presumably the same truths that we did, that pretty much shattered his worldview, so it's like... It's kind of understandable why, but he did run off, that is true. He threw the blade down and just, like, bolted out of there, so, you know, he's not really wrong. Halen. Oh. Sovy's loud cry echoes through... Every time I, like, do that, like, ah, you! And it's like, loud cry echoes through the Trumvirate chambers. His masters shake their heads, clearly displeased at this news. We planned to deceive you all along. In fact, he had me promise to lie as well. I did, but planned to tell you regardless. Helen kneels down, swearing fealty. I'm unable to lie to you, Masters. You gave me light. What does he mean by that? And for that I am grateful. Shane and myself can carry out the next mission. At this time, Sovy is unfit to duty. It pains me to say, but this is the truth. Then again, he did trust somebody who was trying to prove himself, so, you know. The Trumvirate pauses, thinking for a few minutes. An eerie silence fills the room before they speak again. Sovy and Halen, both kneeling, look up at their masters. Rise, Grand Inquisitor. Sovy slowly rises, his fist trembling with anger. No, not you, Sovy. What? Grand Inquisitor, please rise. They say it again, and Halen looks around confused. A few moments later, he rises, standing up beside Sovy. Masters. Sovy is hereby stripped of the rank of Grand Inquisitor. Halen, taking this mantle, you will train Shane as your apprentice. We trust you will do as we command and avoid anything else. Wow. Talk about seeing everything crumble and fall. Sovy takes a few steps back while Halen nods. Please, Masters, I beg you to reconsider. We have them in our grasp. We can do this. Sovy, we would understand the failure of your mission, but lying to us, the lack of loyalty and honesty is unacceptable. It's almost starting to see like your allegiance lies somewhere else. It doesn't, I swear. We cannot be certain that you're telling the truth. Surely you can see how that lie has damaged our trust. Helen, however, has proven to be nothing but loyal. Shane killed a key member of the rebellion as well. You come back to us with nothing to show but deception. It hurts us, and so you must be punished for your actions. Sovy's head slumps down, accepting defeat. If he wanted to win them back, he'd have to endure this punishment. Fighting was useless. It would only make things worse for him. Very well. I understand, but know that I will make this up to you. Until you need me again, I will be in my chambers. He starts to walk away, but is quickly stopped by his masters. No. Turning around, the look of anger is more apparent on his face. Excuse me? Your punishment must be rather severe. Without that blade, we are vulnerable. Then tell me what you plan to do. There's no pain I will not endure for you. Oh, you don't want to say that. Halen, Shane, come here. Doing as instructed, they approached the Trumvirate. They turned around, and Sovy is faced by all 5 of his now superiors. We no longer have any use for you, Sovy. The Inquisition has been reformed and is now stronger. We have no choice but to exile you from Balteas permanently. Wow. You will leave immediately. This is non-negotiable, set in stone. Sovy shakes his head, clearly fighting back tears. After everything I've done for you, you're going to just throw me away. Yes. You damn right we are. With our reign in danger, we need a strong core. We need men who get the job done without question. This is something you seem incapable of, Sovy. There must be something I can do. No, Sovy. There's nothing you can do. It's too late. Unless you march in here with that blade and the Seer, unless you come back with the Avatar, your honor will not be restored. Well, to put it bluntly, we wish to never see your face again. Wow. I did not expect that. Plot twist of the century right there. It's ironic, too, because Sovy's always like, oh, I know how to play people and destroy their lives and get them on my side, and then, well, this happens, and he got played. It's sad, but it's like, because, I mean, Sovy's a bad guy, but it's just like, you know, I should be like, serves you right, but it's like, it sucks, like, just to see somebody who's willing to throw themselves away for their cause to get thrown away like that, you know. Anyways. Because, I mean, Sovy was a bad guy, but he was fighting for something he believed in. So, I mean, you know, if anybody would have been satisfied with what he was doing, it would have been, what's his name? Nagi. And no, I'm not going to stop referencing him. Nagi's an antagonist from Major Minor. I don't know how many people have watched my other videos, but, Nagi believes in doing what you want to do. What in your heart of hearts do you really want to go for? I mean, his heart of hearts was, you know, killing a bunch of people and assembling them into his blade, but he was still like, hey, do what you really want to do. Don't let others enslave you and make you do what they want to do. So an interesting guy, to say the least. Anyways, let's see what he's up to. Access Ulrich's Hunter Heart 4. Ulrich sits at the tavern, taking large swigs of ale. It's hard to accept that if we sided with Dracyu, he'd been against us, but it's understandable as well. We really want to change Alarinthia. I hope that wouldn't affect the rebellion and our unity. We can't have our key members being at arms with each other. Have a seat, Razzle. The drinks are on me. I don't want you filling up on Dracu's handouts. I nod and take a seat beside him. I'll drink, but I want some answers. His hasty alliance with Vivien, the lies about his markings in his past. If he wants my trust, he has to tell me everything. I feel lost. I'll voice those concerns to him as the drink he orders me arrives. Taking a large swig, I sit back and wait his response, whatever it may be. This isn't about trust, Razzle. You trust in me won't affect any of your decisions. In fact, we could win this war without any trust at all. All that matters is a desire to fight for a common cause. Do you think these little chats we've been having were mandatory? Trust me, I could have done just fine without them. In fact, I'd be better off. Well then. I'm taken aback by his harsh words. I don't let it provoke me, I simply wait. It's best if I get him a clear head instead. Oh no, I'd be like, really, dude? After we shared a drink together? Alright, I see how it is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. This friendship we're forming complicates things. There's a reason I never kept many friends, Monarch. I'm scared if I tell you everything, you'll just walk away. Spirits know everything everybody else did. Look at me, still using superstition. The spirits have no power over us, no divine plan. Why do I find myself wanting to believe in them? I guess maybe they gave me a sense of comfort in difficult times. It's different now, having difficult times and knowing the truth. It's like when you find out Santa Claus doesn't exist. What do I believe in? If I want to push myself forward. You believe in yourself. That's what made me want to side with Vivien, no matter what. The desire to change my nation. It's what drives me to action now. And when we're done here, it'll be the desire to change our world. That's all I ever wanted. My entire life. It always seems just out of reach. Whenever I think I have it, the Triumvirate swoops in and takes it away. They tell you they'll give you what you want. They convince you they'll make your dreams come true. Then, when they're done with you, they throw you away. Well, we just saw that happen. How do you know so much about this? He lets out a loud sigh and slumps down in his chair. I'm not sure why he's telling me all of this, but I still listen. Even if it's somewhat unrelated, it's helpful for him to vent. What I'm about to tell you, I tell you in confidence. I knew Sovy before he became the Grand Inquisitor, so I know so much about the Trumvirate. I saw them take an impressionable young man and ruin him. Turn him into a tool meant to kill without a second thought. They took my friend, and after that he was no more. That monster we fight may look like my friend, but that man is long gone. They made sure of that. I promised myself I'd never let them do that again. I failed. They got the Shane just like they did to got the I failed. They got the Shane just like they got the Sovy. It's almost impossible to shake off their influence. They have a way of convincing you. I continue listening, and we take turns drinking. Soon after, a second drink comes for each of us. I believe every word. I knew there was a connection. I looked back to the vision I had of Valinorth's destruction. It said some things revealed a connection between them, but I just assumed it was something rivals developed in wartime. However, to think Sovy was once good? That's the part I find hard to believe about all this. Yet he spared me when he had my life in my hands. Today I can't read. Well, that's one of the things I had to tell you. It was long ago, but it still happened. I won't let them get away. I won't let it get in the way of my performance. A long time ago I thought maybe I could win him back, maybe he could change and redeem himself. But I haven't had that thought in a long time. Now I just want to kill him. For everything he's done for me, for everything he's done to us. There's a point where redemption eludes you, and he's past that. I guess this leads to the second thing I wanted to tell you, Razzle. Back in the desert, I told you about how I got these markings. Dracyu said I ripped them off from ancient Alarintians. I wish that was the truth, I really do, but that's not the truth at all. I always tell people I'm older than they think, but I only say it to hide how old I really am. It's not a lie, more like an omission. He rests his head in his hands, his second glass now empty. I'm old enough to have earned these markings the right way. There I said it. I don't care if you believe me or not, I finally said it. I'm older than any of you could have possibly imagined. Very, very old. Thousands of years old? Hundreds of years old. You're actually the Oracle of Legend, I bet he is. I bet he is. He's claiming to be thousands of years old. As far as I knew, the laws that led to those markings were banned long ago. But not only that, he also used to work with Sovy. I'd say he's our mortal enemy. Go on, tell me you don't believe me. So far nobody else has. They say it's impossible. Soon after that, they say nothing to me at all. I prefer older men. Oh, wow. I believe you. This war has proven almost anything is impossible. It's been one bizarre adventure, one bizarre revelation after another. I mean, shoot, we got the dead leader of the Rebellion walking around with a cacophony of spirits inside of him, so, Really, he'd be the first. Of course, there's always something different about you. Now that we've been through all this, we finally know why. Thank you, Razzle, I really mean it. There's more to this story, but that's all we have time for. Just the basics. Still feel need to know moving forward. The barkeep comes to us and asks if we want another drink. Oric shakes his head, sending him on his way, and puts some money down. My treat, remember? Let's get going to that ball. Tonight we change history. Oric's loyalty scene will be available when you return to the mainland. The game will notify you when the loyalty scenes have been unlocked. When they have been, you can view them by going to the war table. Okay, I'm also gonna save just in case OBS decides to stop on me again. Let's go here. So I have to fight Ulrich? That's pretty scary to think about, Pro. Only if Razzle sides with Dracyu, Velasa. There's not a good chance that won't happen. I wonder who Dracyu would elect as a champion, though. Well, his army is supposed to be incredibly powerful. He must get to handpick the strongest Alarintians. I'm sure Ulrich can handle it, at least I hope. Well, Dracyu doesn't like to waste his men, remember? It's possible he'll elect an outsider, meaning one of us. Vivien is like an insect to him, super easy to crush. So we'll be fighting each other in the end? Is this supposed to be a fight to the death? Exciting, isn't it? Wow, Pro. No, it's not that. It means one of us will die. Not exactly. Huh? The match ends if the champion or the leader falls. It's possible to end this with Vivien or Dracu's death. The champion is just there to spice things up, I guess. If it were to just the two leaders, they'd only fight each other. Having two champions endures the fight constantly changes pace. It makes things sound more interesting, at least. You need strategy. Watching two leaders in an unending deadlock would be boring. The champions aid a small army of men and really shake it up. It makes the leaders at the top of the game, too. Make sure the leaders are at the top of the game, too. They have to watch every direction and constantly be ready. It serves to show us how strong they truly are. It's crazy. Dracyu is undefeated, but Ulrich might just stand a chance. I think you're kind of missing my point, Pro. Really? I don't think of Vivien and Dracyu as expendable. At the end of the day, one of us will die no matter what. Even if it's one of them, it's still something I'd like to avoid. It sounds like you side with Vivien, then. Dracu's death would be the final death in the Colosseum. There'd be no more fights like this under his reign. I know you're right, but it's not so easy. We have to kill him just because he thinks differently? There's no way to avoid casualties, and I hate that. Yeah, but it's not just Alarinthia, Velasa. You can say that about this entire war in general. Sometimes it's better to look at people as means to an end. Can never do that. A lot of people feel the same way, trust me. That's probably why the Triumvirate is in charge. We need to start looking at things differently if we want to win. If we have to compromise ourselves, then is it truly winning? I don't know, Pro. I need to think a little bit of time to myself. Of course. Alright, what about these two? I don't think I really see these two talk that much. I don't want to watch Ulrich fight in the Colosseum. If Razzle sides with Dracyu, then he could die. But he's prepared to die for his beliefs for him. There isn't a better way to go. A true noble end. Hey, okay. Finally we have somebody in the Nagi fan club. Honestly, I prefer if his life had no end at all. I have a feeling this choice will end up dividing us. I don't want to fight against Ulrich or watch him die. It's all about respecting his wishes for him. If he puts his life on the line for Alarinthia, we can't deny that. You do the same for Valinorth. In fact, you already are. Really? This war is just battle after battle for him. You put your life on the line back at Rebel HQ. That means you're ready to die for your beliefs. I guess you're right when you put it that way. So Ulrich isn't just fighting for Alarinthia. Remember, our army gets a boost out of this. At the end of the way, at the end of the way, it benefits all of us at the end of the day. But if the person we side with loses? That's what makes things difficult for him. Vivien is the right choice in my opinion, but not the correct one. The correct choice is Dracyu. He's won every battle and has a huge army. It's pretty complicated. So far, every choice was concrete. There's no room to choose and then lose. Alarinthia is different than everything we know. I guess it makes sense that things would change once we arrived. The Seer, the Monarch, Razzle, whatever they're calling him this day and age, has a tough choice to make. It's a gamble at best. Shouldn't have to be that way, though. The future of a nation and a world is a gamble? That's bad news. Vivien has the right idea for sure. You mean abolishing Colosseum battles? Yeah, things should just be like the rest of Celestia. If they were, then we wouldn't even be in this situation. But we shouldn't change something just because we don't like it. That's what the Triumvirate did to this whole world. We can't be like them. Alarinthia has been fine since the dawn of time. It can continue to be fine. Besides, Valinorth is exactly the same way. Independent, with its own hierarchy and leadership. It was, but I'm going to change that. As Elder, I want unity with the other nations. I think the same would be best for Alarinthia. If the Triumvirate changed this world to suit them, right? That's not what we're doing. We're liberating it and making it better. Our end goal is different, so I don't think we can be compared to them. You have a point, actually. Maybe I got the wrong idea. A flip coin does the same thing until it lands, after all. The truth is only shown after everything is said and done. Exactly. In that case, maybe I do side with Vivien. With Ulrich's strength, he may stand a chance. I hope Razzle is on the same page as us. I guess we'll find out once we get to the ball. But I wonder if Dracyu will request our aid, and for that matter, who his champion will be. Gosh, I hope things don't even get more complicated. I'm not sure I can handle a web more tangled than this. Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, you said that once before, and half of your troops ended up dying. Well, let's go to the castle. To the Emperor's castle. Oh my. We enter the castle gates, and to my surprise I see trees like back at home. There's grass too, almost as green as the grass back in Valinorth. I have no idea how Dracyu got this here, but it sure wasn't cheap. Wow, this is incredible. I knew he was rich, but this is crazy. I've never seen such a fancy place in my entire life. Dominic steps forward, clearly amazed as well. So this is where Dracyu lives, hmm? This is a bit excessive, don't you think? Alarinthia is all about showcasing your power. Most rulers add a wing or two to the castle during their reign. It's only going to get bigger and bigger with each passing year. He's not fixated, unless of course Vivien takes over. He's not fixated on that kind of stuff. I can't imagine it getting bigger, to be honest. What does one really need to do with all that space? Well, he has a large army as well, larger than Vivien's, but don't let that sway us. I think you've seen enough to know that this place needs changing. Right, of course. So, do we just march in? I don't see any guards or security. I look around and he's right, I just see lots of partygoers. They're all sipping some sort of alcohol and they look at peace. I suppose this is the one way to stop the people from fighting back. I notice a large man exit the castle gates and slowly approaches. He's not carrying a weapon, so I doubt he's some sort of security. He looks intimidating, of course, but that's about it. Is this Westy? I'll take care of this just like before. We can't risk skipping up in this castle. One misstep and everyone will be after us. We all step back, trusting Ulrich's word. He takes a few steps forward, meeting the mystery man. Somebody tells me this is Dracu's guard, I just know it. Westy, I presume? That's an interesting name, you know. And more shadows. It's just a nickname for your information, and you must be Ulrich. You sure stand out. We come in peace. Don't worry. We're here for the ball and Dracyu. It's possible to request an audience? He's a busy man, you know. So am I, so don't waste our time. Can we have an audience or not? Westy sighs and crosses his arms. Fine. I'll let you in to see him. He's been expecting you, you know? We've been keeping watch since the docks. Just like Vivien's man. Yeah, but we let them get to you first. It's not often an army comes here from the mainland. We just wanted to hear his offer so we could top it. Top it? JQ wants our army as well. We're starting to become popular around here. Don't let it get to your head, Ulrich. You're just as disposable to him as Vivien. You just happen to be both disposable and strong. You might want to work on your public relations skills. Look at its ball, and then say that to me again. That's right, you can't. Now let's get this going. I'll be inside the gates when you're ready. He walks away, leaving Ulrich to turn back to us. It seems like everybody has a use for us in this place. Vivien was probably right. JQ would use us to fight him. Well, that makes things easier, don't it? This is going to be exactly like we expected. Let's help Vivien and get this over with. JQ has a bigger army, but Vivien has a brighter future. That's what we're fighting for, remember? A better future. It might be a bit harder to win, but we can still do it. Everybody nods, agreeing on this unanimously. It makes sense, since they didn't want to fight Ulrich, but ultimately the final decision would be up to me. Seems to be going pretty well. I hope we're not walking into a trap. Dracyu wouldn't try anything during his ball. It's about making people happy, not scared. Let's hear him out and get this over with for good. Sure, that sounds good to me. On your mark, Razzle. They all spread out, start looking around the area. Dominic is right. Everything seems to be going so well. We deserve it, after what we've been through. That's what I think. It's crazy to think that within a few days we'd be attacking Balteas. We couldn't waste any time. We go right after securing this alliance. But I think back to the moment on the ship where I touched the blade. I wanted us to show our victory, and it showed me nothing. Pushing forward in spite of that, that was the definition of hope. If there was anything that could help us win this war, it was that hope. I was trying to click on through that, but I think we should just get things rolling here. Though it looks like we gotta go to the throne room. The throne room is crowded and full of people partying. Normally I imagine this would be reserved for Dracyu alone, but right now it's open to everybody. It's almost like a big ballroom. A man sits on the throne watching the people as if it entertains him. That must be Dracyu. You can scan the room and notice Vivien in the corner. Since no one knows what he looks like, he must blend in perfectly. He must have snuck ahead of us while we were talking back at the gates. I guess all the pieces were in place. This ball is about to get interesting. I wonder how many people here were part of Vivien's insurrection. Westy stands behind Dracyu, and I see them whisper to one another. A few moments later, Dracyu stands up, eyeing down me and my comrades. I didn't notice how tall and imposing he was until he stood up. Almost a match for Ulrich. I like how they're different kinds of dragons, too. It's not just like the same design. It's cool. Silence. Oh. Why have I... Silence! His deep voice echoes through the entire room. Everybody stops talking. I turn to him as if out of fear and await his next words, but I know what they'll be. He knows who we are, and Vivien here, it's likely he's ready to make a move. We have those who would disturb the peace among us. Guards, lock the doors. We have some business to take care of. Ah, crap. He claps his hands once in a commanding gesture. Soon after, a group of people close the throne room doors. They carry no weapons and are disguised as partygoers. Now, how should we deal with those who disturb the peace? Watching them starve in the cells don't do much for me anymore. The crowd starts shouting out a bunch of potential punishments. Dracyu laughs, clearly enjoying all the horrible ideas thrown his way. I say we hear them out and treat them in kind. So tell us, why did you come here today? I take a step forward in response, but then Dracyu looks the other way. Fixing his view to the corner of the room, I realize he wasn't talking to me. Vivien. Everybody looks towards the corner and Vivien scoffs. Moving forward, he stands in the center of the room. Dracyu? You come here on my day of celebration to challenge me. It's an insult to both me and all these proud Alestians. Looking deep into our core, you say we're not good enough. We honor the traditions of the ancients, as we should. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. You want to tear us apart. You want to create a nation that's weak, just like the mainland. No, you got it all wrong. Lack of strength is not a weakness. The unity of the mainland, their shared ideals, that's true strength. You stand here alone, victim to your incessant squabbling. Vivien takes a few steps forward towards the throne with intense passion. I can tell that this is something he'd really fight with his life for. We yield to no one, while they are docile slaves of the Triumvirate. They crushed the mainlanders under their heel, who ask no questions at all. Alarinthia is a free land. We make our own choices, and we hold the power. Pro pushes me aside and steps forward, standing beside Vivien. No, Pro, don't do it! Ulrich reaches out to stop him, but he's not quick enough. Then help us gain our freedom! All eyes are diverted our way, and even Vivien seems surprised. Hmm? We come here seeking an alliance. We're not all mindless slaves, you know. An alliance? What can you offer me? You look as if I could crush you with one hand. I'm stronger than you think. We all are. We grew up alone on the streets of Mazeo. If we weren't strong, we'd be long dead by now. You? On the streets of Mazeo? My apologies, that is quite respectable. You must be part of the Monarch's crew. Yes. We come to seek your aid. You keep talking about how strong you are, then help us take down those who claim godhood. Everyone watches in awe as this turns into a standoff. What do I get in return? Pro steps forward, confidence radiating from the way he moves. What are you doing, Pro? I will be your champion and offer some of our forces. Alright, let me get myself in order so I can do the voices properly. I will be your champion and offer some of our forces. Together we can crush Vivien's pathetic insurrection. Allow us this chance to prove our strength as worthy allies. He kneels down, offering his loyalty to Dracyu. All kinds of plot twists is up in this game right now. What is he doing? He's playing right into Dracu's hand. Unless he told us Dracyu needed our army, he's only playing dumb. Dracyu steps down the stairs leading to his throne. He stays far from Vivien and Pro, but they're now level. What an unconventional turn of events. And Vivien, you were seeking a challenge, yes? Yeah, at the break of dawn. I will allow you your final night of revelry. Who will fight as your champion? Ulrich. He motions back towards Ulrich, who steps forward. Standing beside Vivien, his loyalty and stance is clear. I see. Dracyu eyes Pro up and down. And what do they call you? They call me Pro, your excellence. It will be an honor to fight with you in the Colosseum. I offer my life and the life of our forces to your cause. I step forward to object to the events, but Dracyu speaks first. I accept your offer, Pro, but Vivien isn't worth using my own men, but you lack the authority to make the pledge. He looks straight at me, eyeing the blade on my back. That decision lies with the Monarch. Help me defeat Vivien, and I will offer you my might. Go against me, and I cannot guarantee your survival. This is all happening so fast, but I know that's Dracu's plan. He wants us to fight his battle for him. I don't even know if he's trustworthy. But Pro in his haste put me in an almost impossible position to manage. If I sided with Vivien and Ulrich, we have to fight Pro and Dracyu. Dracyu would have our forces as backup, while Vivien would have his. This is a fight to the death, so major losses seem unavoidable. This battle would happen regardless of my support. So, not picking a side would harm our cause in the long run. But not choosing Pro over Ulrich or vice versa could hold a bond. I close my eyes and clench my fists together. I need to stop thinking about this so personally. People will die either way. It's war. It's unavoidable. So the real question is, what future do I want for Alarinthia? Do I want Dracyu to remain in power and for things to remain unchanged? Or do I want Vivien to overthrow the nation and ally with Alarinthia for the mainland? No. I need to detach myself even further. No Pro, no Ulrich. No Dracyu, no Vivien. Just Alarinthia, that's all. Monarch, what is your decree? Fight with me and prove yourselves worthy of my help? Or fight off Vivien against thousands of years of tradition? Let's consult the advisor. Well, the main goal is changing the world, right? We want a better future for everyone, not just us. It stands to reason we should change Alarinthia. But Vivien can't offer as much power as Dracyu can. And for that matter, I don't want Pro or Ulrich to die. It's complicated, I'm not sure what to do. A final attack would be harder if we use Vivien's forces. That is, if Vivien and Ulrich can take down Dracyu. He's never lost a Colosseum battle, remember? I guess it depends on what we want. An easier time during our assault on Malteus, or change Alarinthia? At our forces' expense. There's no wrong choice here, vassal. Take your time and do what your heart tells you. Our end goal and purpose will remain the same. I want Alarinthia to change its ways. I take a deep breath before announcing my choice. We would help Vivien in exchange for the forces he could offer. We would defeat Dracyu and give this nation a new bright future. But that meant we'd be fighting against Pro in the Colosseum. He so foolishly pledged his support I had no idea how to react. I never expected insubordination and borderline betrayal from this. Our lives were on the line, I had to make the right choice. I'd rather live with Dracyu than sacrifice myself for Vivien. Ulrich has the wrong idea. What he's doing is suicide. Everybody starts to part ways, but the doors remain locked. People try to open them, but Dracyu makes them quickly stop. None of you shall leave. I wouldn't want you running away. He claps his hands, and a bunch of servants approach him. Private quarters will be arranged for those involved in the fight. Tomorrow morning, you will all be escorted to the Coliseum. For tonight, enjoy the ball. I think you'll find it quite exquisite. Troop morale has risen by 5%, oh boy. After that, everybody gets back to enjoying the festivities, regardless of our allegiance. We all gather up in the center of the room. I never expected that in this chain of events would get so complicated. And Dracyu handled it in such a calm manner, too. It's almost as if he was confident in his ability to win. Uncertainty, confusion, and fright fill my mind. He played us. He provoked Pro into pledging his loyalty. At that point, it was already too late. Pro made up his mind. Unknowingly, we'd all become pawns in a fight for Alarinthia's future. I should probably roll him around the ball until it's time to rest. I can fill out the situation and get feedback from my comrades. That'd be key to helping me sort out this ongoing mess in my mind.
Hey.
Oh, I want to see this. Pro, what the hell do you think you're doing? I had a plan and now you ruined everything. Sorry, Ulrich. It just made sense. It's a fight to the death, right? Dracyu has never lost. I had to do it. I had everything under control. It's not your job to control everything. You need to get that through to your thick skull. You're going to regret this. Regret? I can live with that. It's better than dying for nothing. Dracyu has killed stronger men than you. I don't think he's going to lose this battle. That's why I want to be on his good side. So you're just going to suck up to him? Get on my side, Pro. You're pitiful. Well, let's see what our comrades think. I'm glad you sided with Ulrich and Vivien. It's important to change this nation for the better. I just wish Pro didn't have to open his big mouth. It's a very real chance he'll die tomorrow. We've seen Ulrich fight. I think he'll win this battle. I just hope it's Dracyu that falls, not Pro. That sounds like a horrible thing to say, no, but we've all grown so close since we met at Peregrino. I'm scared this clash of ideas will tear our bonds apart. I need to get my mind off that or go crazy. If you need me, I'll be in the ballroom down the hall. I heard they have a live band, and I love music.
Hey.
Pro, I'm gonna smack you. And I think you sided against me. In the future, I'll remember that. I thought we were friends, you know. When the fighting starts, I won't hold back. I'll just want to be on Dracu's good side, you know. If he ends up winning, I still want to form an alliance. But if Vivien wins, well, I don't know. That means either myself or Dracyu will be dead. I'm not going to think about that. Let's just go check out the ball. What do you think? You believe you made the wrong choice, Razzle. Dracyu has yet to use fights in the Coliseum. This fight doesn't appear to be any different. The strength he could have offered was incredible too, but instead you chose the weaker man. Ideals aside, choosing weakness makes no sense. Who cares about a changed Alarinthia if we lose the war? We could give Vivien what he wants, and a march to our deaths. Strength is what wins wars, not the desire for change, not hope. But the desire for change and hope can provide the fire to keep going. I direct you to, if you know American history, the Vietnam War. Part of the reason why America lost Vietnam, despite being so powerful, America was slaughtering, hundreds of Viet Cong during this war. We were outmatching them in terms of manpower, technology, but morale just wasn't there. The will to fight just wasn't there. And we lost as a result. I mean, there's more that goes into the loss of Vietnam, but I'd imagine if our soldiers, had the morale more together, probably would have won. Or at least made some ground. We'll be exploring the castle if you need us. The ballroom is our next stop, so we can meet there. In the meantime, enjoy this ball as much as you can. Oh no, I already asked you that. Skip button, go!
Hey.
What are your thoughts? I'm grateful for your support, I really am. So we told how much you want to change this place, and now I'm getting that chance. This almost feels like a dream. I'm not a fan of what Pro did, though. I hate to say this, but I'm prepared to kill him. If I see an opening, I have to take it, Razzle. I think I need a few drinks after all this, truth be told. I'm so confused about everything, but I assume that confusion will wane when the battle starts. I'm going to check out the rest of the castle. I'll see you around. Remember, party responsibly. Alright, let's see what else we got going on here. Looks like we gotta check out the ballroom next. When I entered the ballroom, I noticed my comrades scattered about. They're all enjoying themselves and having the time of their lives. Dracyu spared no expense. This was fancier than anything I've ever seen. There's a live band playing music that's pleasant to the ear. Couples sway about on the dance floor while others feast on a buffet. An open bar attracts many patrons. There's something for everyone here. My comrades noticed me and gave me smiles as they enjoy the party. As I'm about to step forward, somebody bumped into me from behind. It was clearly on purpose to grab my attention. I quickly turned around. I hope you're prepared to fight, Monarch. You'll be among the soldiers during tomorrow's fight, regardless of your allegiance. I'm excited to see your abilities. I'd be honored to know that you gave it your all. Either way, I thought it would be best to come meet you here. You're a guest in my castle, not a prisoner as it may have seemed. It's just tradition for challenges. They're mostly issued at the castle. It ensures that people involved in the fight can't back out. We take these battles very seriously, as you can tell. I know, that much was clear. Oh my god, you can flirt with him? I hope we haven't issued any offense. It is what it is, let's move on. You accept your fate, that is admirable. I wish you the best of luck in the future, Russell. If you'll excuse me, I believe we have a party to enjoy. Well, at least he's honorable about it. He walks into the ballroom and is quickly crowded by people. Greeting every single one, he ensures that they're all happy. He's very charismatic. Everyone painted him as a savage man. I noticed Dominic and Valessa standing off to the side. They don't seem overly interested in joining the party. I didn't get their input yet, so maybe I should approach them. I take a few steps forward, as if not to block the entrance of the ballroom. The music gets louder. The reverberation fills the grand room. Sight and sound combine to make an utterly beautiful experience. I try my best to enjoy this before retiring to my private quarters. When I was ready to sleep and then fight, that's where I'd go. I couldn't delay it forever, but I could occupy myself for a bit. I wonder if the private room is available in this book, but let's go, let's take care of stuff first. Yes, Halen number 2. Oh wow, we get to see the halls. Well, the bodies swayed on the dance floor. Helen and Shane did a dance of their own. Weapons clashing, they sparred. It was time for Halen to put his new apprentice to the test. So far, it seemed like their skill was equally matched, a deadlock of the best variety. You put up more of a fight than Sovy ever did. Did you learn techniques like that, Shane? It almost feels like you're the teacher in this scenario. You pick a lot of stuff on the streets of Mazeo. Back when I was younger, it was either fight or die. A lot of the rebels are just like me, so get used to it. Let me guess. We all banded together after the occupation. That means if I learn your weakness, I learn theirs. A weak strategy, while sharing the same fighting style. Well, now I know why we wanted to spar so soon, and here I thought you might be warming up to me. Don't flatter yourself, Shane. Then stop giving me reasons to. Their weapons clash again. Halen's sword was was Shane's daggers. He had no problem being Shane's match with such small weapons. His agility and quick thinking were more than enough to counter raw strength. I guess Sovy wasn't much of a fighter. He used to be, but I can tell he always held back. There was doubt in his mind, and it clouded his judgment. I trusted it would go away, but you know what happened next. Yeah, and he's paying for his mistakes. You can trust me, Halen. I won't let you down. Remember what I did when we were in Mazeo. You killed your former leader, your best friend. I don't need anything else from you, Shane. That proves your loyalty almost tenfold. Good. Shane sheaths his daggers, done with the sparring. So what do you think Sovy will do next? I mean, he's no longer welcome on Palteus, right? I saw him wandering the halls before he left. It's funny, he might actually try to seek out the blade. He'll say something about Alarinthia over and over. What makes him think it'll be an Alarinthia? Well, the rebellion will try its hardest to survive. After what we did, it makes sense they'd flee to mainland. They can't come here, so the only other option is Alarinthia. Makes sense when you put it that way. Maybe he can regain his honor after all, but I have to ask, why aren't we going? The rebellion will come here eventually. We have the home advantage if we sit and wait. There's no way they can overpower our army. That's smart. So we're really doing this. We're going to end the rebellion. And any more that come. I sense a bright future for us, Shane. We'll do it all for the Trumvirate. Yeah, for the Trumvirate. Hey, there's supposed to be a heart above that. Whoops. I approach Valessa and watch her at the buffet table. It looks like she's having a hard time deciding what to eat. It's all free though, so she'd have some of everything. I'd have some of everything. Why do you need to put alcohol in everything? These pastries would be fun on their own, you know. Jeez, you talk about a furry party, or... Well, I guess technically this would be a furry party. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Your chefs were... Let me see. Your chefs were so busy thinking about whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should. She fills a plate with a few random sweets. It appears that they're all alcoholic in nature. That sounds fancy, but they're all just doused. The locals sure are eating this stuff up, though. Call me old-fashioned, but food and drink should stay separate. If this is a delicacy around here, then Alarinthia really isn't my place. She smiles as she continues filling her plate. But you gotta eat, right? This isn't the kind of place you want to go hungry. I never thought I'd miss the food back in Valinorth. But enough about that. Are you having a good time, Razzle? Aside from the whole Colosseum business, of course. Yeah, Dracyu showed us how to throw a party. That's for sure. Everybody seems so happy. It almost makes you forget why we're here. I never pictured Alarinthia as such peaceful. She smiles softly while eating the pastries on her plate. It isn't much longer until they're all gone. She must have been starving. I don't blame her. The journey here was taxing in every possible way. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I talked to Alex a little more on the way here, to learn more about her parents. Part of me was hoping to hear something positive. Like they're paragons of virtue or something. I thought maybe they were good people. As she starts to talk, the live band starts to play louder. People flood to the dance floor with their partners. Valeska watches all the couples with a wide smile. She places her empty plate back on the table. Sorry, the music kind of cut me off. Right, I was talking about our parents. I learned so much of them on the trip here. Care to tell me over a dance? Sorry, maybe if Killer Queen feels up to it, but I'm a monogamous kind of fennec. Tell me everything, I'd love to hear. She nods and smiles. Just a quick warning, it's not the best atmosphere for this story. I mean, talking about pirates doesn't exactly fill one with joy, but I think it's important to know more about our families. Like I said, I was hoping to hear some good news. I always pictured our parents as the perfect heroic people, but it turns out they really weren't. They're bad people, Razzle. I know that pirates get involved in shady things, but they embraced it. Killing, stealing, smuggling, you name it. They were legends of Mazeo. They had a whole network operating for them while they were back home. That's how they managed to have a presence in both nations at once. They went to Mazeo every month or so to inspect our operations in person. Explains how they managed to raise us and balance our double lives. Maybe it's for the best that they passed on when they did. The village in Sol raised us. It gave us a sense of morals. I can't say I'd be too happy if I inherited the morals of our parents. They could have dragged us into a life of piracy as we grew up, too. It'd be dangerous. We could have died years ago, If you died, then right now, the world would have no hope at all. So maybe the occupation was meant to happen. It got us to where we are now, shaped us into who we've become. If we let them shape us, we have no idea what we are right now. It's so weird, since children usually aspire to be like their parents. But right now, I'm using them as a roadmap for what not to do. All I can do is dedicate my life to being better people than them. Maybe that can undo some of the damage they've done, because I know they tore families apart. They killed and robbed. So some would say that in the end, being murderers was their justice. But I don't think death is a good form of justice. They should have gotten the chance to make up for their crimes. With them gone, I feel like it's our job to do what they couldn't. So that's something else I'm going to fight for. I'll make up for the damage our parents inflicted. I'll get the world peace so no one has to feel pain. We'll make a world that doesn't need people like our parents. A world that treats everyone with unconditional love and equality. No one will have to live in poverty. Or turn to a life of crime. Nobody deserves to be a victim of circumstance. To have their life determined by the world around them. No, that's not it at all. We shape the world, not the other way around. She looks in my eyes with overwhelming determination. So let's shape it into something beautiful, a place where no one has to resort to being evil. I'm sure our parents were introduced to it somehow. It's not like they woke up one day just wanting to be pirates. Maybe it was their parents before them or some close friends. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? We'll make the cycle end with us. We'll start a new cycle, one of peace, happiness, and prosperity. One where our children can live full, happy lives. The music slowly comes to an end and everybody leaves the dance floor. Valeska watches for a while before speaking again, enjoying the moment. When we get back to Mazeo, I want to see the old hideout. And I'd really like if you came with me, Razzle. It'll give me a sense of closure and let me move on. I never thought I'd learn more about our parents on this journey, and I'm even more surprised that it's the truth I never expected. But if I could go back and never learn it, well, I wouldn't. It gives me the drive to become a better person, and it really makes me appreciate everything I have, including you, Razzle. I can never do this alone. Aw, thank you. She smiles and then examines the room. I'll let you go and tend to some business, Razzle. I should probably talk to Fortem about this stuff too. He deserves to know about his parents just as much as us. I nod and watch her as she slowly walks away. Only she could turn a horrible truth into such contagious optimism. But she was right. We need to create a better world, where no one had to be hurt. The Valeska's loyalty scene has been unlocked. Alright. I could have swore that was 40. But I guess not. Maybe I was wrong. Oh, damn, I called to Heart 4. I walk over to Dominic as he's standing alone in the corner of the ballroom. He looks a bit awkward, like he knows he doesn't fit in, but I don't blame him. With the story he told me last time, I knew a crowded ballroom floor would frighten him. Hey there, Russell. I hope you're having a good time. I mean, given the circumstances, of course. I can imagine it's hard to have fun when you know what's coming. Actually, forget I said that. I don't want to ruin your experience. I'm just airing my own grievances, really. Forgive my venting. I tell him it's fine and stand beside him. Together, we watch the patrons dance in the center of the room. They look like they're having a time of their lives while we just stand here. You know, I've been thinking. I faced death back in Museo, and I'll face it tomorrow. After that, I'll just go on to face it again when we attack LOYALTIES. I could die tomorrow, the next day, or the day after. So I keep asking myself, what should I do before I die? A lot comes to mind, but very few are important to me. I want to go back to where it happened, Russell. Go back to the place where I spent the last moments with my mother. I've never been back there since I grabbed the pendant. I was scared. Just thinking about the place made it seem like it was happening all over again. I can't even imagine what would happen if I went back there for real, you know? It's easy to avoid since the town square is so large, but I'm done avoiding things. I could have died back in those tunnels, Razzle. Something like that really puts things into perspective. If I die, I want to make sure I've lived life to the fullest. So that means there's a few things I'd like to do. More importantly, I want to go back to the place where I lost my mother. I don't want that place to hold power over me. I want that power. You already know some of my other fears too, but it'd be ill-mannered for me to request your help for those. It's about Museo. I'd just like a good friend to be by my side. He blushes and shuffles in place. It was clear that he meant his fear of physical contact. I could help him with his Museo trip, but I stopped to think of the rest. Can you say something, Monarch? I don't know if I can handle such an awkward silence. After a monologue like that, I could stand to hear your thoughts. I don't say this would permanently affect our relationship with him, so... Yeah, don't worry, Dominic. I can put all your fears to rest. All of them? Did that mean... You know what, I'll let you take the lead on that one. We're a long way from Museo, after all. I can be patient. He smiles, almost like a weight was lifted from his shoulders. It would be important for him to enter the final... It's probably somebody opening the front door and closing it. It would be important for him to enter the final battle with a clear mind. When he got back to the mainland, there's no reason not to help him. Well, that's pretty much all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you're doing, unless there's something else you'd rather say before you go. Oh, we can go on a date with Dominic? I'm definitely doing... Well, actually, I mean, to be truthful, when the game is finished and voice acting is implemented, I do want to go through all of the heart-to-hearts and go through them, like, if you go through them normally and if you date the person. I don't know if being in a relationship with somebody and then picking, like, a snarky thing changes their dialogue, but at least do that. Like, you know, show off, like, it was two different things, so... not really. Have a wonderful evening, Dominic. Of course, it was nice to chat with you. Come see me when we get back to the mainland. Hopefully we'll have time for some final errands. I'd hate to go right from here to LOYALTIES. We need a final reprieve just before we end all of this, no regrets. Just in case we don't survive the war. He smiles. It was a grim thought, but a realistic one. If we made it to LOYALTIES, you might not make it back home. I need to be content with everything I did up until that point. I leave the side and wander back into the center of the ballroom. The hours were slowly passing by. I couldn't delay tomorrow's battle forever. That thought weighs heavy on my mind as I contemplate what to do next. What are you still doing there? He's just there, taking up space. Anyways, alright, watch. Dominic, what are you doing on the map screen? Get lost. He's crashing my... I'm gonna make that my video thumbnail, probably. Just, why not? Yeah, he's still here. What the heck? Why are you... No, I saved so far. Oh, whatever. Just pretend he's not there. As soon as I get to my private quarters, I rest the blade above the bed. Inside the bed. It feels good to have the weight off my shoulders. Too bad the relief would be ephemeral. I sit down on the bed and think about what would be coming in the next few days. A tournament to decide the fate of Alarinthia, an alliance to help us attack LOYALTIES. Not even a day or two after the Colosseum battle, we'll be sailing into the final battle. Would we win or would we perish? The blade showed me nothing when I asked. I sat down on the bed and decided not to try using the blade again. The anxiety of not being able to know almost wasn't worth it. I was supposed to do what I wanted. Was I not strong enough? The blade was so mysterious I'd probably never know. I just lay down. Having had enough of today's events, things were crazy. Just when I think we get to relax, we're pushed into more conflict. But this conflict has clearly proven divisive amongst our team. Pro and work against each other? Vivien and Dracyu too? Perhaps this is a lesson that casualties are unavoidable. The end. I close my eyes and hold a firm resolve in my heart. No, none of my comrades would die tomorrow. They'd survive. We're all survivors, and that's what we continue to do forever. Why are you here? Get lost. Instead of falling asleep, however, I find myself someplace familiar. It's the same locale I find myself after falling asleep in Peregrino. This wasn't just some random dream. I had to be here for a purpose. All I knew was this was the Trumvirate chambers. There's no doubt in my mind, but why was I here? Not only once but twice? There needed to be a reason. The blade weighs heavy on my back and I slowly pull it out. I can sense it's pulsing with energy, reacting to something. I noticed the idol at the back of the chambers, that's what it was. Why is the blade reacting to something like that? It doesn't look like any spirit idol I've seen. What is it? I feel a strong pull, almost as if I have no choice but to approach it. I take slow, heavy steps towards the idol and feel eyes upon me, not just one or two pairs, almost like all of Alessia is watching me. I can sense my comrades at my back, almost as if they're encouraging me. It helps me push forward, as I feel resistance emanate from the idol. Why do I feel such a strong pull to something that doesn't want me? I push, though, in spite of the resistance, and continue to act instinctually. Yes, fulfill your purpose. Do what you were meant to do. This is Trumvirate's voice. I remember it from the last time I was here. I have no idea what they mean by my purpose. Still, I can't deny my instinct, and I keep pressing forward. It isn't much longer before I'm standing in front of the idol. It radiates pure malice, and pure evil. It fills me with fright. I look down at my blade. Was I meant to destroy this? I'm confused as to why I'm doing what the Trumvirate wants me to do. It's that conflict that causes this dream to end and jolts me awake. I rise up in fright, gripping my chest and panting heavily. I look over at the blade resting at my bedside. What happened? It feels as if no time passed at all, but it's already the next morning. Just what I needed. No rest before a massive battle. The fates were playing cruel tricks on me during this journey. I had to keep going. I couldn't give in. It would be over soon. I stand up and strap the blade on my back. As if on cue, I hear a knock on the door before it's opened. Dracyu steps in, not seeming to care if I was receptive of him. It's your turn, Razzle. My turn? We were transporting you to the Coliseum one by one. And that way you're less inclined to try and escape us. You'll be the last one, so it's almost time to fight. I nod. It all makes sense. I advise not wasting much time. Head to the Coliseum when you're ready. You'll be followed by myself and a few guards. Oh, and good luck. You'll need it. The entire nation will be watching and cheering. But whether it's for your victory or demise, it remains to be seen. He rests his back against the wall and crosses his arms. This is really happening. A battle to decide the nation's fate. I guess I'll head to the Coliseum when I was ready to fight. At least freaking Dominic is done crashing my game. A book rests on the nightstand. It appears to be about Coliseum battles. Not regular ones, though, the leadership ones. The kind of battles I'll be fighting again today. I wonder if I was placed there on purpose. We did play into Dracu's hand, after all. Initially, rules of Alarinthia were decided during a simple one-on-one battle, but citizens quickly realized this was not the best way to gauge a potential ruler's true strength. They had to add more. This is when the champion system came into play. Each fighter would elect a champion to fight by their side. This would not only test their offensive powers, but show how they handled defensive measures as well. They'd have to fight their enemy and their enemy's champion while also protecting themselves from their champion. This made battles much more fun. Later on, the reserve forces came into play. Each leader would bring a force of about 20 or 30 men into battle with them. This was to make sure they knew how to lead an army effectively as well. What started as simple fights to death evolved into full-on sport. Leaders must display their ability to fight, to defend, and to command an army. This ensures that Alarinthia is always in the best possible hands. Only the most competent warriors can win. Well, $20 say that the Coliseum is not ready for... Yep, there it is. Enter the Coliseum Arena? Yes. Oh, well, okay. Not available in this, but yep, I knew it. So, that's all that we got going on so far. Lots of twists and turns and traps. Personally, I think Pro is... He's up to something. He's up to something. I think he's going to try to stab Dracyu in the back. Almost literally. I mean, it'd be dishonorable, but it'd be a victory. Because remember, he talked to Valessa about how the champion doesn't need to fall, just well, the army doesn't have to fall, just the champion. So he's cooking up something, but we'll just have to see how this goes when more content gets released. So, that being said, thank you guys for watching. My name is Razzle Joestar. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to become a Dazzler today. And it would also do good to become a Ringling Dazzler, so you can keep watch of when I randomly upload videos when I feel like it. We also have monetary support available as well, such as our Ko-fi, Patreon, and eBay, which I realized I'm not linking my eBay store in my video description, so I have to fix that. Oops. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll just have to see where this goes later. Take care, everybody. See ya.